Hey everyone, welcome to the Ketchup Court recap stream. This is where we go on to recap and break down everything that has been happening in specific trials. And on this occasion, we are breaking down the Brendan Banfield trial. We've been covering it since pretty much day one. And a lot of things has happened. First and foremost, it's still up in the air because of the weather issue, but the trial has been postponed for the last few days, Monday to Tuesday. It's been suspended because of the weather, the snow, the ice, all of those things. So, but it's supposed to be back on today. So, if that's the case, and there's no real changes, then of course I will continue on with the trial monitoring that I do with the members. But nonetheless, with this recap will serve for whenever the court does come back in session. The Virginia court does come back in session in Fairfax County. It will serve as a great reminder. This recap will serve as a great reminder of what has been going on. So we are going to be focusing on day 7. And in my opinion, even though the defense were like clowns, and I'm being nice when I said that, even though there was so many things going wrong, I still do believe that the evidence that they have presented to drive their theory forward is quite convincing, but it does have some drawbacks, and I'm going to be getting into all of that today. I'm going to be going through the key witnesses for day 7. Well, the key witness really, because there was only 3 witnesses and only one witness really matter. But anyway, I'm going to be going through all of that. Then pretty much go through what I think is going to happen on day 8. What I do on this channel is that I provide full trial recaps on cases that I cover, as well as this type of recap, the weekly and daily live streams. I treat trials as live case studies, if that makes sense, focusing on legal strategy, witness behavior, as well as the likely perception of the jury. So without further, I do want to make one concession, one little retraction, because on the previous streams that I've made, I did mention, and I'm quickly gonna go into it here, I did actually mention that these glasses belonged to let me just go into it so that you guys can see. There you go. These glasses belong to Brendan. That's actually not the case. I believe it was Court TV. Let me just go to it. There you can see Court TV actually presented the exhibit and said that it actually belonged to Christine Banfield, and the bloodstains was there. So it has altered my thinking a little bit. It has altered because I didn't even see this on day 1. I've said that from the beginning. I didn't see this from day 1. So me seeing that, then I thought it was Brendan, but it was actually Christine. So I just want to make that there. I make mistakes, and yeah, hopefully I can minimize them, but whenever I do see I just have to correct the record, basically. I don't want to be that show that is putting misinformation out there. Anyways, let's like I always start with all my recaps, let me go into the clip that best describes what this day was about. Let's get into it. Okay, so that particular clip was from the movie The Conversation, and I'm going to expound a bit more on why that clip is perfect to describe what has happened on day 7. So let me go into the case now, because it's now the defense turn to produce their evidence, to produce to present their case in chief, basically. And Brendan Banfield was supposed to testify today, like on day 7. He was supposed to give testimony because he is claiming self-defense. He is claiming that he was killing, that he had to kill Joe Ryan in defense of his wife. So yeah, that was basically what was expected to happen, but that did not happen. You want to know why that did not happen? Because this lawyer, if you follow the trial, this lawyer is pretty much unnecessarily. Let me get up a key document that I need. 1 second. This lawyer, so as I was saying, this particular lawyer, John Carroll, was really slow, really slow on day 7. Took his time with almost everything. The bulk of the testimony that was given, and it's still not over, by the way. The bulk of the testimony that was going on with the one witness that I'm going to be focused on today, which is Ari Litsky. That testimony could have been finished, literally wrapped up by lunchtime, but for some reason it extended over, that the judge had to even say, look, we have one more witness that is literally waiting on the Zoom call, so could you please wrap it up? And even further, the Judge Penny Haskarate, who you may know from the Depp v. Heard trial, she literally told him, look, listen, things were going off the wheels today. Like, she just told him straight. And I think he deserved the scolding. He deserved every bit of scolding from there, because it was complete incompetence, in my opinion. Like, and it's worth nothing. I'm not a practicing lawyer, of course. I'm just someone that wants to become, or has ambitions to become, a lawyer one day. But it's just seeing that, and looking at how the state, I'm staying in this trial, looking at how the state had ordered their witnesses, the speed, the pace that they were going at. It was night and day. I just couldn't help the thought, that this could have been done a lot faster. It's not necessarily all bad. It's not necessarily all that complicated. But anyway, let me go into it, because let's set the scene a little bit, because there were witnesses that did testify. It was Brendan Miller that gave testimony. If you remember, he testified on day 6 and 5, I believe. Day 6. I think it was day 6. But he gave an extensive testimony on day 6, where he was recorded on day 6, and now he was finishing off on day 7. But he gave it an extensive testimony on day 5 and continuing on day 6. Anyway, now that I got that out of the way, his testimony was over, basically, and the main evidence that I could remember from his particular testimony was let me go into the screen so that you guys can see. The main testimony I could actually remember was the testimony in regards to, let me just get it here, in regards to Christine, in regards to Juliana Magalhaes being her email login, Gmail login, was being used to basically go into the to create the FedLife account. That's the bulk of the testimony that I could remember. There was nothing much more that I could cast my mind back, that comes back, that was really substantive from him. He also provided a bit more context in regards to what had essentially happened during the investigation and why he was reassigned, because we heard a lot of testimony around that on day 6 as well. That was a disaster, by the way. I went through that, but that was a disaster. But yeah, there was a lot of testimony that Brendan Miller provided context to, but it wasn't enough. And I do think that Ari Litsky, like I said, I do think that the evidence presented here is solid, really. I can't doubt it. And I'm going to go through why. So I want to go into, let me go into the first piece of testimony that he gave. And oh yeah, before I even go into that, I nearly forgot. There was one last witness that I do think he's going to testify later on. This was the witness that was basically waiting, and he goes by the name of Nick Barreiro. He is a cell phone expert, a data analyst, and he, from this sound of the testimony that he gave, even though it was for like 10 minutes he was testifying for and just giving his credentials, from the sound of the testimony that he gave, it seems like he's going to be going into any alterations to these emails that have been presented by Ari Litsky. So he's going to be analyzing and going through to see what markers could there be that could determine some kind of manipulation, some kind of control, because that is something that is lacking in this particular case so far, like in regards to what the defense has to present tangibly. And it's still going on, because they tried to bring in evidence on day 6, and now they are building more on that. We still have no idea who is controlling these devices. Ari Litsky is gonna go and give testimony. First and foremost, the first part of his testimony was mainly to put doubt on the testimony that was given on day 3 by Nita Ryder, and also the testimony that was given by David Giacchio. So I guess the defense did kind of repair things a little bit, because we heard from David Giacchio on day 6 that Juliana had told them that Brendan was getting soundproof windows installed, and told her to scream outside so that she could hear, and she ended up going outside, and then Brendan was the one screaming, just to see how effective it was. That's what we got to hear on cross-examination on day 6. So now this testimony goes to kind of contextualize that, to kind of remove Brendan's culpability. Let's go in and take a look.
Number one dates back to 2021, far earlier than...
Objection calls for speculation. This particular document just says estimate 10 a.m. windows. We don't know if they had other window replacement.
By the way, all of the testimonies from day 7 is just an objection party. Like, it's one of those ones where everything was getting sustained, nothing was coming in. It was literally frustrating to watch, because it just nothing was sticking for the defense. It was frustrating in the sense that these guys should know what they're doing, but the defense attorney just can't seem to ask proper questions that would lay the foundation. A lot of this is testimony, like a lot of evidence was getting sustained that I don't know. Let me just continue on.
Projects.
I'll sustain the objection.
So in 2021, Christine Banfield was scheduling a window estimate at 10 a.m.
Okay. Sir, I think this might be 111, Judge?
I don't think this,
112.
Thank you, Sylvia. He owes you something at the end of this. All right, 112. It's not in evidence.
Sir, do you identify this
No,
slide?
No, Judge, this was previously offered and denied.
it's not in evidence.
Correct.
Right.
So
It was previously offered. We'll see what happens. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Sir, can you identify this?
Yes, these are messages sent by Christine Banfield from her device, excluding any other party.
And what is notable within these messages?
Their discussions about having the windows
Judge,
replaced.
objection. He's testifying to the subject matter.
All right,
It's hearsay. It's
Sustain the
denied.
objection.
What about the date and time?
These are from June 28th, 2022.
Sorry.
You just changed
I
things.
know, sorry. My big
That's
thing.
just an example. That's just an example. But the part that they get into, that's just an example of the chaos that was going on on day 6. But the part that was key from that is they did get in the testimony that it was Christine that wanted the windows to be installed. They did get that in.
There you go.
Sorry, did you see that before my fingers caused it to go?
Yes, these are from mid-2022, late June.
And sir, do you see the item on the screen?
I do.
Okay, and what is this?
More messages from Christine Banfield.
Objection as to the hearsay. He cannot testify to what's in the document.
All right.
What's notable about the date and the time on this particular message?
Is this 114?
It should be, Judge.
I just want to make sure for the record. It's okay. This is 114.
114.
These are from December 3rd, 2022.
That's what you have to do. That's what I got.
Chairman, may we just approach for a moment?
So let's move on to the next part of the testimony, because I just wanted to give a preview there as to what exactly has been happening, why yesterday was a disaster. I am not gonna, the reason why I had to give that little primer, because the next part of this is gonna seem like the defense had a good day, but I just wanted to show that no, they did not have a good day. They were all over the place. But the evidence though, let's just talk about it.
2023 is
This
7.
part right here is where they were building on the theory that they made on the opening statements on day 1, where they had theorized that the state were saying that Christine Banfield, the victim, has that they had no control over her devices, that actually it was Brendan that had control of the devices. They said no, that Christine actually had full control, and they presented this evidence to kind of counter that narrative. Let's watch.
20 and 45 seconds PM. If you look at the file name 4 lines above, that is the typical Android file naming convention that's comprised of the date. So we see 2023 0117 underscore, and then 1920, which is 720 in 24-hour time.
Now, the software and the make and the model, is that significant? Does that corroborate anything that you've identified?
Yes, the make and the model is corroborative. This phone was in fact a Samsung SMG 991U, which informs me that this picture was actually taken in what we call native to the device. So it's a photo both contained on the device but taken by that device, rather than one you'd get in a text message or email as attachment.
Your Honor, I don't believe I've previously identified it, but I would put it in as Defense Exhibit 127.
This one,
I'm trying to help you here by showing how great the evidence is, and even then, this guy still find a way to seem incompetent. Well, at least I don't have to tell you that they're incompetent. You can see it by now.
30 weeks, and it's been published for the last.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I'm covering my bases.
Okay.
Sir, I'm going to have you look at this item. Do you see that on the screen?
I do.
And are those digital artifacts that you relied on in arriving at this?
You could call them.
Describe what you have, what you see in that slide.
So this is part of the responsive documents received in this case from Facebook. And so the information, it is digital, it is artifacts, but it's not recovered from a device so much as from provided by Facebook from their servers.
Okay.
All right, so that testimony right there, the story around that is Banfield was basically Christine had sent a picture on her phone to Brendan Banfield, and he had downloaded it to his phone. So what I believe was going on in that picture, because I believe this was on the 9th. I believe it was on the 9th. I believe it was on the 9th, or the 23rd, or the 23rd. One of the two. Nonetheless, what was going on was he was that picture that was sent on, that there was a successful. That's the one. That there was a. I just managed to orient myself. Anyway, that the Facebook transactions that you just saw, that Christine was the one that was sending it to Brendan, which constitutes kind of ownership, and it was happening on the 17th of January 2023. So based on that, there was a successful login at 10 p.m. to kind of match it all up, which is what I was showing you. So based on all of that, they were trying to give the idea that the device that was being used on that day was by Christine, not by anyone else, because as you can see, Brendan had used his device to even download the pictures, and Christine was the one to have sent the picture, and it was and he also testified that it was a native copy, so a native picture, meaning that they took directly from the phone. So what they were trying to do was establish ownership of the device. The next part that he's going to testify to, was the fact that Christine account was not the one that was being used with the FetLife creation. Let's watch.
The person whoever was using the computer opened a Google website and Google inbox related to Ms. Banfield.
And sir, what's the significance of the email, the Gmail account that's identified in the second line there versus other Gmail accounts?
So this one became known to me through my review of all of the evidence in the case as Ms. Banfield's sort of go-to email account. This is not the alleged suspect email account that we talked about as being formed on January 9th.
And what was the alleged suspect Gmail account that you referred to?
That was the one that was used to then set up the FetLife account in Telegram. Is the account, the alleged suspect Gmail account was the one that received communication from FetLife, both the FetLife service provider and from users wanting to message through that account.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to show you this next slide.
This is a complete total guess from me, and I'll speed it up now. This is a complete total guess from me, and this guess is what I believe was trying to happen there is a separation between Juliana and Christine Banfield. The reason why I say that is because, and I think this is where they're getting to their theory now. The reason why I say that is because of the fact that he testified also that that a two-factor authentication is something that is common with catfishing. So what he just testified to about the communications from FetLife also going to, I believe, Christine's email, wasn't trying to say that it was wasn't trying to say that it actually was Christine that was the one going on FetLife, etc. Which I think is a theory that they might explore just to cause reasonable doubt. They might actually go to that and say no, Christine also had interest of going on the site, but that would be a massive departure from what I'm thinking or what I am being led to believe, which is that they're now trying to say Juliana was the one to have been controlling all of this because of the fact that it's already been established with Brenda Miller's testimony that it was her account that was being used on the creation of the FedLife account on the 17th of January 2023. It was her account that was linked to it. So there is no way that Christine could have been using there's no way that Brendan could be using Christine's phone, based on the context that they have given where Christine was sending the picture over. So it would have been what they're trying to suggest, though they can't conclusively prove it, it would have been Juliana. Now, the next part of this testimony goes into a couple of things that came out that does seem off and that's the thing. We don't know what Christine's buying habits are. We don't know what Christine's life has been like. We didn't hear anything about Christine's life by the state. So this testimony that's coming now, I'm guessing the defense might build a profile on who Christine was in their defense, which I think is quite peculiar for the defense to try and do. You usually see that from the state, but this is why I say that.
What exactly is...
Okay.
Wrong one. Let me start again. Is here.
To what the devices were doing at what period of times, in terms of the pattern that you just described?
Sure. Ms. Banfield's device had a history of activity, devices have a history of activity well into the evening for an extended period of time, both
Was
before...
there a time frame that was consistent during that period of a year that you went back?
It was frequently between 10 or 11 p.m. and 1 or 2 a.m.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide.
This part here this is what stuck out to me because I don't know why. I mean, we don't know anything about Christine and why she will be going on to buy touring tickets. I see Broadway tickets there, but she's also buying tickets. Etc.
Sir, do you see that slide?
I do.
Is that a slide that you created?
It is.
Was it based on your analysis of digital forensics?
It is.
Your Honor, I'm going to identify this as 154.
Any objection to 154?
No.
Or 154 in evidence?
Sir, please explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what the significance of these artifacts are.
So here we have the date is still January 17th. The time is from 11:32 through 11:35. These are from Ms. Banfield's mobile device. We have a couple of website visits on the top and the bottom, and in between we have a number of email email inbox visits with a Google, a couple of Googles in between. Of note here towards the right, the second to last column on the right, the digital forensic software we use can tell us whether a device was local or synced, among other sources. So we can see where we see local, it means in this case, the two local artifacts were website visits on this device itself. The intervening artifacts that are labeled as synced tell us that those could have come from a secondary device and are being replicated here as a result of Google's ability to sync accounts. If you're logged into your account on more than one device, what you do on one might appear on the other.
Now, the January 17th, what was the significance of January 17th again?
The FetLife was created around 10:48 p.m.
Okay, and so the timelines of all of these slides that the jury has seen are significant in terms of this set.
Objection, counsel's testifying.
What's the significance of it relating to the times?
Well, we've just walked through what was occurring on Ms. Banfield's laptop and her phone in the 45 minutes or so before through the 45 minutes or so after. And recalling the first slides we saw Windows log on to the laptop. So the activity that evening began around 10 o'clock when we first started running through these.
And are you, based upon the analysis that you did during this slideshow presentation, are you able to opine as to, within the degrees of digital forensic analysis, your opinions as to what was going on January 17th?
I am.
Can you provide that opinion?
So, again, revisiting the originating slides, we saw a log on with Ms. Banfield's security identifier to her profile, at least on her laptop, around 10 o'clock, joining the Wi-Fi, which our computers do automatically. Immediately, we went into her email account, or the user of the device went into her email account, and then we started seeing other activity. We saw the alleged suspect Gmail account be logged into, and then we were back into Ms. Banfield's Facebook account where we viewed an image, a picture, the digital image. That image was then downloaded. And these are all happening within either seconds or a minute. That downloaded image was brought to the device early in the 10 o'clock hour, I think around 10:05. And then we saw, 30 or 40 minutes later, the Photos app opened up, an image edited, and that image would ultimately be uploaded to the FetLife account during the account creation. All the while on Ms. Banfield's phone, there appears to be certainly user activity. As Detective Miller said, context is hard, and we might need other corroborative data to see who was conducting that, but it's certainly unrelated. I think the website visit about Kristen Chenoweth has nothing to do with the scheme here at hand. So we can infer, and we do, and this is just one event in a timeline of many significant events, but we can draw inferences based on the totality before, after, during, and the content of who might have been operating.
Okay, so that's the bulk. That's literally, I couldn't leave the stream without actually going through that part of testimony, because that's how things were left on day 7, because it's up in the air, and I think that they have provided great, in my opinion, really strong persuasive evidence. Now, I have run over the time. I'll just take my time. I'll just quickly speed through this, because everything that he just testified to there in regards to showing the login time, I didn't even get in the login times, the switching of apps. I didn't even get into the crucial evidence that was provided in regards to show that both Juliana and Brendan Banfield were not in the house when, based on the GPS coordinates that they had, but Christine was in the house and operating the phone on that same day, the 17th of January. Why is this day so important? Again, it goes back to, this was the day that the FetLife account was being created. We heard from Juliana, that's the one, from Juliana on day 2. Day 1 to day 2, my memory is like, anyway. We heard from Juliana from day 1 to day 2, where she had testified in regards to having the FetLife account created on this day, and it was all her testimony. The this evidence being presented by the defense is airtightly persuasive, way more persuasive than what we got to see from the state, because the only corroborative evidence to show any activity from Mr. Banfield is the travel to McDonald's that happened on day 1. That's it. There was no corroborative evidence to show any creation of accounts by him, but everything was just based on Juliana Magalhaes' testimony. If the defense somehow picks up their game and throw everything at the sink in regards to what has basically happened here, forensically, using communication, etc. It would cause a lot of doubt, and this case might actually end in a hung jury, maybe even an acquittal, in my opinion, based on how everything is flowing at the moment. This also bolsters the idea that I have in regards to Juliana Magalhaes being called back by the state to give testimony about a possible coercion, because that's the only way you can kind of explain what is actually going on here and why she will be doing all of this. But even if they bring that in, they have to refute the GPS testimony. They just have to refute that. And I think the testimony here, I wouldn't be surprised if we get to see the defense present testimony in regards to Juliana having access to Christine's email for whatever reason, maybe to do her shopping, maybe to I don't know. Maybe because she was the au pair, so she would have some kind of freedom, some kind of mass authority to access certain things to enable her to do certain tasks. Who knows if Christine had given her things to do based on her health? We got to hear testimony from her father, and I'm still scratching my head why they will present that testimony without kind of presenting something else to kind of push the idea, whatever intent that they were going for with that testimony, because I didn't quite see it from the state. So anyway, I don't want to keep this stream too long. It is way over the time, but anyway, I always aim for these streams to be 30 minutes or under. I'll do better next time. But that's just what I think. Now, about that clip that I played, I think that perfectly captures today, because regardless of all that has been presented, there is no evidence still to say that one person was definitively using the devices yet. Just like the conversation, literally the guy listened to the tape recording over and over and over and over and over again, and his only perspective is only what he could observe that changes the meaning. But the audio that he was listening to in the movie never changes. Not I just thought that clip best summed up today. Anyway, I'll just leave it there. Hopefully you guys have a good day, whatever you might do now that you're caught up. If you are watching this trial, you can watch it with us. We are doing a live trial monitoring session with my members, the tastemakers. If you want to join, feel free to join us for the observation of these streams. I'll be making my trial reports like I do. You can get that on the Ketchup Core website. Also, I will also leave a link for you to go and watch it live. I think I'll leave a link to Court TV, sorry, not Court TV, Law and Crime, which is the channel that I'm noting from, so that you can go and check it out if you want to watch it live. Anyway, that's all I have time for. Have a great day, everyone, and yeah, thank you for tuning in or watching back on replay, whatever it might be. Yeah, have a great day. Take care of yourself. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now. Thank you everyone for tuning in for another Ketchup Core live stream. Make sure that you smash that like button as well as hitting that subscribe button to be notified of our future live streams. We go live regularly, bringing you case updates and recaps of ongoing trials, so make sure you hurry back on the next live stream. We also have more content on the channel that you can binge on. Check out the playlist that we have showcasing all of these contents. Without further, I go by the name of Heinz, your friendly neighborhood ketchup man, and I'll see you back in court.